All right. Say your name.
Steve Powderly.
Okay, so what was your job during the 2010 Olympics?
I worked transportation in the Whistler Village.
And so how were the athletes transported?
The athletes were transported by bus from Vancouver to Whistler, and then they had buses set up for them to take them from their venue from the village to the venue.
Okay, and so when the athletes were transported, was it just with like their team and their coaches, or were like other countries included?
The buses from the village, all countries can leave on them, so anybody from any country could be on the same bus with them.
And so did the coaches go with the athletes?
Yes.
Okay, and so how far away was Whistler?
Whistler was about an hour away from Vancouver. And then from the venues, it would depend on which sport. But the village was pretty close to skiing, so skiing stayed in outside housing. So they were really close to the mountain where they were. Bobsled and luge, it was a little further away, but it was probably about 10-15 minutes to get from the village to their venues.
And so have you ever had a vehicle or a bus break down, like with athletes on it?
No, I've never been involved since there weren't any in Vancouver. No.
Okay, that's good. So was there like a set time for the buses, and like did the athletes know about that? Or?
Yeah, for each sport, certain buses would go directly to the certain venues. So the organizing committee, the Vancouver organizing committee, would set up times when those buses would leave. A lot of times there'd be a bus that left every half hour, so the athletes did know about that. Well, should know about it if their team leader and coaches were good and told them when they were leaving.
And so was there like some sort of security for the buses?
There was always security around. I know in previous Olympics sometimes there were escorts. There weren't escorts in Vancouver, but I know that our people, we notified them, and they knew when teams were leaving for the venue. So our security here from the USOC.
Are you done?
Yes,
I'm sorry. So what happens if an athlete like misses like a bus, and their event is like, and they're like late for their event or something?
Well, if an athlete missed their bus, what they do is probably contact somebody from the USOC. We have an office in the village where they're living and sleeping and that. And then they would contact one of us, and we do have vehicles there where we'd be able to take them to their venue.
So like about how early, like before, like a competition or like an event that they have to compete in, would they go?
Probably 2 to 3 hours. Well, and that depends on the sport too. So like bobsled and luge, there's probably more to do because they have to work on their sleds, just to get them right. So they probably leave earlier, but some other sports, alpine or like skiing, they might not get there as far in advance.
Okay, so like if the athletes are done competing for the Olympics, and would they be transported to like other places to see their families?
So what do you mean, done competing? Just for the day, or
like for the
if they were like luge competes on the first 2 days?
Yeah, like that.
After that, we wouldn't provide transportation for them, but their families can come to the village. Well, okay. Their families can come to the village and pick them up. We wouldn't provide them a vehicle to take to see their family or drop them off necessarily, but a lot of times they'll meet at the USA House. The USA House is something put together so the athletes and their families can get together. We would drop them off there to see their family.
So who drove the buses? Were they like hired like from like the Vancouver or?
Yeah, they're hired by the organizing committee.
And are there like certain roads that they're told to like stay off of because they're like too busy?
They always have Olympic lanes, so during the Olympics, only vehicles with a VAP, a vehicle parking pass type, or something can travel those Olympic lanes. But Whistler, there was pretty much only one road, so and not many people, so they didn't have any problems traveling there.
Okay, so about how much money was spent on transportation, like collectively for all the athletes?
That, I cannot answer that question. I do not know.
Okay, okay, so.
A lot.
A lot? Okay, that's all I have for you, so, thank you.
All right.
Do you want to ask him what he does now?
Oh yeah, I forgot that. What do you do now?
I am in analytics, so if you've ever seen the movie Moneyball, that's what I do
Have you seen it?
here.
No. Okay, so is that,
Explain more.
So that's where we take the results and we try to figure out, maybe, well, we give information to Sport Performance so they can make better decisions on which athletes to fund, which sports to fund, programs, and all that type of thing.
okay, so is that what you've done like ever since the 2010 Olympics?
No, I was actually a manager in Sport Performance, and I've been in this position for 2 years.
What's your title right now? She needs to know that.
Competition Analysis Research and Innovation Analyst.
So so every time someone asks you about your title, do you say that, or is there like an acronym?
I usually just give them a card.
Okay.
Okay. Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a long title.